you were playing with the white pieces in this position, you would resign because you're thinking, this pawn is queening on the next move and there is nothing you can do to stop it because this pawn is blocking this bishop that cannot control this square, and there is no way to actually bring the bishop back to actually control this square. Are you sure about this? Sometimes we resign too early in our games if we don't know the right patterns to play in the game. Here, white is winning. Try to find it. It's actually very simple. You know that you cannot stop this pawn. So there is no point actually trying, going with the bishop, etc. and going somewhere and trying to actually stop it. There is no point, because you can't. Because there is a pawn here, and you know you cannot actually control this square, and he's queening on the next move. So the only thing that you may have in this kind of situation, I want you to create a pattern in your brain, is a checkmate pattern. If you manage to checkmate this king, or creating a threat of a checkmate, then this is fine. This is the reason why the best move in this situation is to play queen b7. If he queens, or he rooks, or whatever, this is a checkmate. It's hard to believe, but you would be winning like this, because this king doesn't have any square he can go to. He has two possible moves. This is what you have to think about. He can go here, or he can go here. If he goes on d6, what do? You take the pawn, and now you're controlling the square of promotion. If he goes to the other square, you do exactly the same thing. You control the square of promotion. So king b7, you were winning. I hope you didn't resign. I consider this puzzle to be the hardest of the 4 puzzles that I have for you today. If a 1000 actually sees this position and he's with white, what he's gonna do, he's gonna take the bishop that is given to him, checkmate! And you're done, you hit the table, you hate your life because you got checkmated with so much more material for white. So you don't want to do this. And in this situation, there is a checkmate in 3 moves. Try to find it. I really doubt that you managed to actually find it because it's so amazing and beautiful and instructive. What do you like in chess? You like to sacrifice the queen, right? How about you sacrifice the queen and you sacrifice that rook? Let's go. Let's give this one. The only move is to take with the bishop. And if you do this move, and you're looking at the position now, you're thinking again about resigning with white because you're like, okay, I just gave my queen. And what do I do now? I have this rook here. He's threatening to actually checkmate. Okay, I can move the rook here to control actually this square, so he cannot. But, you know, he just goes bishop g5, and you lost the game because you're down material. Yeah, so he went queen g4. Bishop takes. And now the crazy move. That rook sacrifice. The king cannot take because this bishop, this is what you had to see. This bishop is controlling actually the rook. He has to take with the pawn, and you checkmate with the bishop. It's hard to believe that this is a checkmate, but that's a checkmate. I really don't think that people who are watching the channel found this. I don't think that a 2300 finds it in 10 seconds. I do not think so, but let me know if you did because this is pretty amazing. Now, you have to be careful because there is some stalemate combinations here in this situation because the king cannot move. So if the rook wasn't here, then it would be a stalemate. But in this kind of situation, that's an important pattern to know in rook endgames. You are winning with white and you're checkmating in 3 moves. Try to find it. The best move in this situation is to bring the rook here. Whatever he plays, even if he goes rook h5 in this situation, or if he goes back, let's say he goes back with the rook, he's threatening actually, you know, to come this way and bother you on f2. What you're gonna say is, my friend, after this move, where I sacrifice my rook, there is nothing you can do. I'm threatening checkmate on the next move. And if you take the rook, I checkmate with a pawn. And your opponent hates his life, basically. Before I show you the next puzzle, I'd like to congratulate Fabiano Caruana. for again crossing the 2800 bar. I'm a really big fan of Fabi. I think he's a gentleman, really like, his talent and as a man. This puzzle is very instructive. You have the black pieces. He's threatening to actually get a queen with white. Usually, if you're around 500, what you're gonna do, you're gonna take a pawn because you saw a pawn, so you just take it. He's gonna queen. You're gonna go check. He's gonna move the king. You go check again because when you see a check, you just do it. And after king d4, you see that you do not have a check. He goes like this, check, you cover, check, and then you get totally checkmated very fast. But this is not what's gonna happen in this game. Now, in this situation, if you're a thinker, if you're a thinking player, you should see something straight away. It's true that in endgames, they tell you to bring the king forward and bring it, but in this kind of situation, when there is a rook and a bishop, you have some checkmate possibilities. It's kind of dangerous to actually have the poor king here alone because he's going to get attacked. Yes, he's threatening to do a queen, so we have to be fast. But the funny part here is that this is not a check because the first move that comes to our mind is a check. Let's say you're between 750 and 1250. The first move that you saw was maybe this, right? Or this one. You saw a check. But this doesn't win. To create a sort of spider web around the king, what you want to do, you want to restrict the squares of this king. And here, the best way to win is to play a calm but powerful move, Rook e3. What you're doing, you're controlling this and this. The king only has 2 squares now that he can go to. The rook can never come here. The only thing you're doing with this move, you're telling your opponent, on the next move, this is checkmate, and there is nothing you can do about it. You can get a queen if you want. I actually don't care because this is checkmate. Or you can, if you want to move your king, yeah, but this is checkmate again. I hope you like this video, and I see you on the next one.